Today on Sci-Fi Fantasy Network, I'm talking to Gerry Anderson, son of Gerry Anderson, and also a person in his own right.
I'm glad you pointed that
out. Of course, Gerry Anderson, famous for Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet. You are now in charge of Anderson Entertainment, I understand.
Yes, big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Their dad didn't want me to go into the business because he had a bit of a rough time along the way. Did very well, but had some bad patches too. He was a bit worried about how I might find it. I think overall it's been going really well. There's lots of stuff that's happened, like Gemini Force One and Terra Walks, The Lost Worlds of Gerry Anderson, Thunderbirds 1965, all that kind of stuff. And so it's rolling along nicely.
I was going to ask about Thunderbirds 1965. How did that come about? Can you, for anyone who's not heard about it, can you explain what it is?
Thunderbirds 1965 is an effort to make 3 brand new episodes of Thunderbirds in the classic style, using audio recordings from the 1960s. And actually, it's being made about 2 miles that way, 2 miles down there, on the original site of the original series.
Wow.
So, and it is looking amazing. Well, it's original 1960s recording. Yeah. So it's all the original voices, original sound effects, original music. So it's the perfect starting point. The scripts were written in the 1960s, recorded and released as records, then play-at-home episodes. And they've just been adapted slightly to make them more screen-ready.
You're also working on something called Firestorm, this TV movie. You're the producer and the writer of that. Can you explain a little bit about what Firestorm is?
Firestorm is a puppet sci-fi series, all practical effects, all in camera, proper explosions, lots of pyrotechnics. It's based on an idea Dad wrote in 2001, and we're bringing it up to date from the original outlines and scripts. And it's kind of Thunderbirds meets Captain Scarlet in terms of its content and tone. And we're filming the pilot, or just starting to film the pilot, well, next week really. So it's all coming along really nicely, and I'm hoping we'll be able to release a few little teasers soon. We're taking the puppets on to something called ultra Marination. So no strung marionettes, mostly rod control puppets. There will be some wire control, and then the rods taken out in post. But
that's the only CGI in it, really.
Pretty much, yeah. It'll be about 5% CGs though.
You were in something called Lavender Castle a few years ago.
Yeah. Yes, a little bit.
What was that? And can you tell us
what was Lavender Castle? Oh wow! Oh gosh, it was an unusual one. It's a series designed by Rodney Matthews that Dad produced in '97. Performed really, really well in the late '90s. It was when Rugrats was massive, and it was outperforming Rugrats in the ratings. It was doing really well. Kind of a younger sci-fi fantasy, very heavy on the fantasy. And it was a great little show, and I would go up all the time to Cosgrove Hall, as it was then, and sit and paint rocks and characters, and yeah, a great way to spend your time when you're, it's probably 12. Yeah, it's a good way for a 12-year-old to get a grounding on a set.
So now you're working with Big Finish, I see. How did that come about?
Because I pestered Nick Briggs until he said yes, basically. No, it really is. We bonded over a gin and tonic a couple of years ago, and then I said, Nick, can I submit some Doctor Who stories to you? And he said yes, and I sent them, and he said, these are terrible, go away. And then eventually he said we could do Terra Walks, and then it's kind of spiraled on from there. So I've been, have written Sylvester McCoy Doctor Who story now, been script editing on The Prisoner, directing some Peter Davison Doctor Who stuff, and it's been really, really fun.
Do you tell people about Terra Walks?
Terra Walks, Big Finish, it's amazing. I love Terra Walks, I always have done, and luckily the cast, some of whom are sat with me, were only too willing to come back and reprise their roles. There were a couple of original scripts that weren't made for the TV series, which we thought we'd adapt. One of them was really easily adaptable for the audio series, so we did that, and then we wrote 7 new stories to go on top. And I'm just really pleased with it. There's something really lovely about bringing something out of your head into reality, and Terra Walks is one of those things, and it's been received really, really well. I hope people continue to give it a try.
Thank you very much for talking to us. It's been a great pleasure. An honour.